I ask you to count to 5 and think of one person who's helped you in your career. I feel very grateful to have achieved what I have in life and my working career, and I know that many of you do too. Brought up by my dad and my gran, I left school having done okay, not really a high flyer, and I had a part-time job in Tesco while studying a year's secretarial course. My course was coming to an end, and my dad said to me, "Do you think Tesco should keep you on full-time?" But I had an ambition of being a secretary. I dreamed of sitting on a desk with a typewriter. And for Christmas one year, I had an electronic typewriter, and I absolutely loved it. I used to sit on my small dressing table in my bedroom, typing away, pretending to be working in a busy office. After a year of secretarial course, and at the age of 17, I started my first job. It was with a small enterprise agency in Carmarthen. I remember now my first day, watching my colleague answering the phone and being absolutely petrified. We never had a phone at home, and I really didn't know what to do. Julie was the office manager. I looked at her and just wanted to be just like her. She was confident and really good at what she did. But more importantly, she believed in me and wanted me to succeed and do well in life. With Julie's support as a mentor, she taught me the ropes, she invested her time in me, and from the age of 17 to say my early 20s, I climbed to be the office manager, but not just for one office. I ended up managing 3 offices. So I ask you again, who's helped you and how are you giving back? In my late 20s, I wanted to be Julie to someone else. I had this urge to just give something back. And I learned about the Prince's Trust Leaving Care mentor scheme. Jade had left care and was sofa surfing. She had aspirations to be a social worker. She wanted someone to talk to. She wanted advice on how to write a CV. She needed help finding a flat. She didn't want to always speak to a paid social worker. I supported, advised and guided her through some of the challenges she faced. I'll never forget the day I picked her up for her move to her new flat. I was fussing and had made many assumptions over plans for the move, but when I picked her up, all she had was one black bin bag of all her things, and that image and experience will always stay with me. With my listening and guidance, and with the help of many others, Jade worked hard at her GCSEs and went on to continue to study and is now a social worker. I ask you again, who's helped you and how are you giving back? Having joined the NHS in 2018, I experienced the power of coaching. I was struggling with some work issues and was recommended a coach. The coaching sessions gave me time out and a safe space to talk through some sensitive issues. My coach provided that listening ear, gave me good feedback, which helped me see things from different perspectives and also helped me see the bigger picture. My coach didn't give me any answers. She worked with me while I became more aware and came up with my own solutions and ideas, and I found it really powerful. So as a result, I studied to become a coach myself and learned lots of useful tools, such as the Oscar coaching model. So for me, becoming a coach and mentor has helped me become a better listener, not just with those I coach, but in all my relationships. Being a coach has helped me to be still and to lower that internal chit-chat that you sometimes have. Being a coach has made me less judgmental. I don't jump to conclusions as I did, and I'm better able to understand other people's views and experiences. A big benefit of being a coach is learning the art of asking good, open and probing questions that really stimulate thinking and problem-solving skills. I've gained a growing capacity to focus on strength instead of weakness in everyone that I meet, and it's given me the opportunity to actually give something back, and there is no better feeling. I've used the Oscar model on my kids, and they sometimes complain, "You're doing that thing on me again." But I feel that it teaches them to find their own answers, which hopefully builds them up to be resilient individuals in the future. The Oscar model that I mentioned earlier stands for Outcome, Action and Review. And we use the model by moving through the framework, using a mix of open and probing questions. So we'd start by looking at the outcome. What is the coach's current situation? What choices do you have and the consequences of those? What actions need to be carried out? And how and when will the coachee review? I'm often asked, okay, so what's the difference between mentoring and coaching? Mentoring is often a longer term relationships. You don't necessarily need qualifications. It's all about sharing your knowledge, experience and skills, and telling the mentee and guiding them through direction. The key differences for coaching is that coaching is often shorter term. There are lots of coaching qualifications available, and I would say that to be a truly effective coach, you would need the training and qualifications. Unlike mentoring, coaching is non-directive. So again, it's about posing the right questions, providing the space, that trust and confidence, so that the coachee can achieve more and reach their goals through finding capabilities within themselves. So what skills do you need to be a mentor and to be a coach? Well, for mentoring, you need kind of that knowledge and first-hand experience and insights into the area in which you're providing the mentoring. It needs to be a long-term commitment. It's really important because if you start mentoring with someone, it's really vital to see that through. Motivating, encouraging and inspiring that energy through all your mentoring meetings, and helping the mentee to achieve their goal really is crucial, to really have some self-reflection from the mentor and work out where that person needs to be. So for coaching, it's more of a relationship of equals where the coach and coachee have mutual understanding and respect. The ability to recognise strength and really challenge that individual that's being coached to propel them to move forward. Tackling problems head on and not dwelling, and being able to ask challenging questions and probe. Coaching can be really uncomfortable. Some questions, open and probing questions that are really helpful to ask within that kind of coaching framework. What are you ready to change? What if nothing changes? What are you afraid of? What are you willing to do or commit to in the next week? What would be the easiest, most doable next step? What's one change you could make that would move you closer to your goal? So can coaching work in the NHS? Yes, it can, and it does. As many of you have experienced, culture is a huge issue in the NHS. When I joined, I didn't understand why colleagues were referred to and badged by their salary banding. People would come up to me and say, I'm the band 5, I'm the band 6, and I had no idea what they were talking about. And I'll always remember a member of staff being invited to a staff dropping event or know a new strategy. And she came up to me and said, I was told as I'm a band 4 that it's not relevant to me and I shouldn't come along. And I just thought to myself, well, that person could actually be the next chief executive. They had aspirations, they wanted to learn and learn about the organisation. So here are some examples and quotes from colleagues in the NHS. Comfortably, the most helpful 90 minutes of my time to date in the NHS. Coaching is a really useful opportunity and a chance to reflect and talk things through. Coaching has helped me develop as a clinical leader. So the key benefits to mentoring and coaching is that both can increase employee engagement and retention. We know that retention is a huge issue in the NHS and recruiting staff in the first place. We want to keep them. Both mentoring and coaching can increase confidence and the interpersonal skills of the person providing the mentoring or coaching and the person receiving it. And both can dramatically improve performance. For example, the International Coach Federation research found that 70% of people who had coaching had improved work performance, 80% had improved self-confidence, And from an organisational perspective, the vast majority of organisations, 86%, said that they at least made their investment back. So again, just a couple of quotes. Coaching for me is realising a person's potential to maximise their own performance. It's helping them to learn rather than teaching them. And each person holds so much power within themselves that needs to be let out. Sometimes they just need a little nudge, a little direction, a little support, a little coaching, and the greatest things can happen. So we started my story with me at 17 in my first job. Next year I am 50, and I can honestly say without the Julies in my life, I would not be where I am today. I very much feel passionately that if we all made a conscious effort to give something back and help other people climb or give them a leg up to the world or the workplace anyway, would be a far better place. So as I reflect today, I still feel lucky to have achieved what I have. I'm lucky to be in a senior role in the health board with exciting plans in our area to build a new hospital. But I'm also looking out for people around me, both in and outside my team, who want to progress and just need a little bit of help to get there. So what can you do? A few things to take away. Maybe consider learning how to ask open, probing questions that help people find their own solutions. Make contact with your learning and development team and sign up to become a coach or mentor. Contact the Prince's Trust or local universities to ask about their mentor schemes, or simply look around you and offer to coach or mentor someone. Could be someone at work or it could be someone in your community. So for one last time, I ask you, who's helped you and how are you giving back?